We're ready to roll now.
We're ready to roll now.
I wish we were recording that. That would have been a good cold opening.
Any last words?
Well, anyway.
Well, hey everybody. Welcome back to the HoloNet Marauders podcast. I'm joined here every time. My name is AJ, Boston Kylo on Instagram, if you guys want to go check that out. Plugging myself here early. And I'm joined here with Jamie, aka Jam the Jedi, and Matthew, aka Matthew.
Matthew.
How's it going, guys?
Going well.
Yeah.
First time in a while, it's just the three of us.
I know.
It's a little weird.
It is weird.
I have to talk to both of you and just both of you only.
There's no buffer.
That's
This is like the
fine.
Seinfeld episode where Elaine and George have to hang out. Where's Jerry? There's no Jerry.
That's
Have you ever seen
alternates. They're that's a
Two people will get that reference. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the Bad Batch. We're gonna review episodes 3 and 4.
Yep.
Cornered.
The replacements.
Well, okay.
Episode
Cornered
3.
is 4.
Yeah.
3 is replacements.
Yes.
4 is cornered, not countered.
Yes.
Yes. So, spoiler alert for Bad Batch episodes 3 and 4.
Yes. So if
Yep.
you haven't watched
That's
those,
that.
go do so. Great episodes. Yeah,
Put
what
it
do you
out
guys
that
overall
long.
think of the episodes?
I'm
Yeah,
loving
before
the
we-
show. And
Yeah.
you guys already know this. Like I am loving this show and it's building. It is building. I just rewatched like a little bit of 3 just to re-prep again for this. And like it is building a lot more than we think. And I think that one of the things that in our like live streams the past couple of weeks, because we do the show recaps bi-weekly for the podcast. So we do the 2 episodes, right? But we've talked like with other people about the episodes one at a time so far. And something that I feel like they're building to a lot is I think that the main goal of this season is going to be access the chip and deactivate their chips. That is their main goal.
Yeah.
Because
I can see that.
it's something that like people have been like, oh, is it gonna like end with like the Battle of Camino and like the rebellion on Camino? But I don't think it's gonna get to that yet. But we'll talk about that later. But I think at the moment everything is leading towards they're just gonna at least find and deactivate the chips. So
Yeah, I think it was episode 3. It was what's the name of the episode?
Replacements.
Replacements. It was
Yeah.
replacements that kind of introduced that ticking clock, right? Because now you have Wrecker who hit his head and is having headaches. And, so we're starting to stress out. We're like, actually, their chips aren't as defunct as we thought they were. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good guess as to where this season will go. I personally think it will probably end with the beginnings of a clone rebellion or a Kaminoan rebellion. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A little bit, yeah. You'll
but
see that
they-
it's there, but it won't start yet.
You're definitely right about that being probably the main goal of the season. Then again, I don't know when they're going to meet Rex, because I
Hey,
feel
we're
like
25% done with the season right now, if you can believe
Yeah.
that.
that is.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me sad.
And if we go
I know.
by trailer rules as well, we've pretty much seen almost every shot out of that trailer.
So
the past
Rex has
4
to be like
episodes,
next
so,
episode,
Yeah.
Yeah.
really. So I think that Rex is going to be the catalyst for them cutting their chips out. I
Yep.
think he's going to
Because Rex
have,
did it.
he has experience. He knows what to do. I guess it would kind of add a little more legitimacy to his line in Rebels. That kind of people were like, wait a minute, he didn't cut his chip out, even though he says he did in Rebels. It's like, well, he's now cutting other chips out of people. So
that's right.
Mhm. Plus, as you're like saying the whole like cutting the chip out, and like Rex obviously has the info. Rex knows everything that happened to Fives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that has to be brought up because Fives and Echo, they were tight. They were tight. They were the tightest. They were
There has
brothers,
to
like
be-
closest
They were.
brothers. So like,
So Echo is going to learn stuff. And that's
Echo-
There has to be some light shed on that, because like that
Yeah.
happened, and that was like one of the best Clone Wars arcs
mhm.
with Fives finding out the truth and whatnot.
Yeah, Fives and Tup.
And then
oh my gosh,
We don't really see much delivered on it. We thought we were gonna when we saw AZ on Camino,
Mhm.
but obviously he probably had his memory wiped and whatnot. So it's gonna be Rex to tell Echo the truth eventually here.
Yeah, because like we've like mentioned it before in the original Bad Batch arc in season 7, Echo obviously is very confused as to why pretty much everyone's gone. The only people that he like hung out with that are still there are Jesse and Kix, and he's like, he like doesn't ask Rex, but like Rex can like tell obviously, and so like it's
Yeah.
and we know Echo is looking for him too, because everything in episode 2, at the mention of Rex, Echo like shoots out of his seat and he's like, where is he? What's going on? And so that's what's gonna happen next, I'm pretty sure. But let's talk about what's happened so far instead of what we think's gonna happen.
We're talking about episodes 5 and 6 today, so before they come out.
So let's start with replacements.
Yes.
They get stuck on a moon. The Bad Batch gets stuck on a moon, with a creature on it, very similar to Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it even had the same kind of like shot with Echo being, or not Echo, with Omega being Princess Leia, and whatever it was, what were they called?
They were moon dragons.
It's like
wait,
Odo
like
moon
that,
dragons.
Ordo
Moon dragon.
It was Mando territory, but
Playing
that's
the part of the Minot.
Yeah, I loved all of that. Like I loved those like little like moon dragons too, because at first like when you see them, it kind of looked like they would have been, oh geez, I forget the name of them. The Fire Nox, the shadow like wolves in Rebels.
Yeah.
I thought it was that at first, but then it turned out to be like it was pulsing with electricity like a Purrgil, and it's like this is a really cool blend of an animal. There's been a lot of like fun creatures in the show so far, and like we'll talk about that in about episode 4. But like I love everything that they've like shown so far. There's been so many like references to other content and really making it an interconnected story. It's not just like on its own. Like the past 2 episodes alone, there's been like a lot of interconnectedness to all the other stuff.
Yeah. No, don't even get me started on the Resistance references from yesterday's episode.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Ooh.
Can we talk about it now?
No, we'll get there. My favorite part of my favorite, the part of the episode that's some of my favorite content we've gotten so far this season was it was cool to see it split between what Crosshair was doing and what the Bad Batch was doing.
Yeah.
And what was going on with Crosshair and his elite squad there. I forget their technical name.
I think they're called the Elite Squad.
I think they're just elite
well,
squad.
then I nailed it.
I think you nailed it by accident.
So what's going on at Camino? It's very dark. We see them go to Onderon to finish, quote unquote, finish the job that the Bad Batch kind of started. And that was some of the darkest stuff we've seen in Star Wars animation.
Honestly.
that
was like pretty shocking. Something that I've noticed about the Bad Batch right off the bat is that it really isn't the kind of show that grows with its audience. It's already there. And I think we talked about this at one point. You know, it really is just a continuation of Clone Wars. I mean, it really is almost just like season 8 of Clone Wars, where you have your Clone Wars audience. They've already grown up. You don't have to, you don't have to start it off kiddie. You can jump straight to, killing civilians.
Yep.
It's just, and because there's a lot of death in this show. And I guess Clone Wars early seasons had a lot of death just because it's a war and you see the clones, getting shot down. But I don't know, people with faces getting shot out of the sky or being, mowed down by with a flamethrower in the mix. It's like, that is different. That's much different. This show has definitely jumped like 5 steps and is like, oh yeah, we're already where we should be in like season 4 or 5.
It jumps immediately in the first drop of the logo. It's Clone Wars burning to the Bad Batch. Like the shoe has fallen. We know that this is going to be like shoe was dropped. What's the term? Shoe has fallen.
You honestly said the shoe has fallen, and I was thinking to myself, is that right? Is that the right
confidently.
All I could think of was Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows. The Ministry has fallen. The shoe has fallen.
Ministry has fallen. Oh man. Anyway, but yeah, we knew immediately it would have been like crank it up to like 11, but with like the actual like violent content. Like Crosshair alone, he has been cranked up to like 1,000 with like his enhancements.
Literally.
So they were like, well, he's gonna be really bad, so let's just show you all the bad things that he's gonna do. And just that was all the scenes like on Onderon were absolutely insane, because like we have like the kill shots like through the glass and like people being set on fire and finish the job, and Crosshair just straight up executes his team member because he didn't do what he was supposed to do.
Good
which I'm pretty sure is a war crime. But
there's a lot of war crimes.
So is killing civilians, but that's a different story. There's a lot going on right now, and it's the Empire.
Yeah, and it's the Empire and war crimes are basically synonymous with each other. So it's good that they're getting it, right off the bat. They're jumping right into form.
Yeah.
No time wasted on those war crimes, Empire. Good job.
I think something important to note again for the replacements. Everything that's happening on Kamino with Nalase and Lamasu, they are not happy with the deal. That's with whatever's going on right now. They are not happy at all, and it's
The
definitely
deal's
going
getting
to
worse all the time.
the deal.
It is. You're right.
It's definitely going to point to eventually either they do something drastic in which the clones will like flip back, or they're going to do something crazy or the Empire's just going to straight up wipe them out, which eventually will, lead to a Kamino rebellion. And it's just so interesting. And I guess it kind of leads into episode 4 with Omega being hunted by a bounty hunter. I have a good theory, and I shared it last night with you guys, but I want to hear your thoughts about that. So Omega being hunted, who do we think is hunting her, or like what do you think is going on with that?
Yesterday I said I thought it could be the Empire, but I guess now I'm kind of, I don't know, taking that back, because I'm second guessing that prediction just because I don't think the Empire knows about Omega yet.
Yeah, I think that's the most important question, is who knows about Omega and who thinks that she's of value. The only people who know she even exists are the Kamino, and so Nalase and Lamasu. And I don't think Tarkin knows that Omega is special, because like he saw Omega like standing next to her, but it's like
he was very casual about it. He didn't seem to care about her. So
so like I mentioned this on our stream the other day that I think that it's Crosshair who's looking for her. Not to kill her, obviously, just to bring her back, because she's an asset to the Kaminoans. And like I don't know if it's some sort of
working for the Kaminoans?
Yeah, so that maybe there's some like ulterior motive that the Kaminoans have like within their programming, like how like Order 66 and the whole chip thing was a failsafe. Maybe they built in another failsafe.
Maybe the chip itself is making him follow their orders instead of the Empire.
Right.
Maybe they're installing him with secret.
Yeah, it's some Winter Soldier vibes going on over there.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It makes sense. Your theory makes sense because Crosshair is one of the few people who knows who Omega is, other than the Kaminoans, really. Because it's a very short list of who people that know Omega and know that she's valuable. But the only thing with that theory that hangs up for me is like Crosshair follows orders. I mean, he always says that good soldiers follow orders. He's not really like a leader. I guess he is a leader of his squad now, but
he'll shoot you for saying that.
He doesn't seem. He would follow someone else's orders to do that. I don't think he'd be the one to reach out to a bounty hunter.
Right.
He'd be doing the bounty himself.
So historically, we know the Kaminoans got a bounty hunter to make all their clones. So
exactly.
They definitely have their contacts out there.
Well,
so they may have asked themselves, or they may have delegated it to Crosshair to be like, "Hey, find someone." Or
what if
Boba? Someone.
Boba has obviously a strong attachment to Kamino. We don't know what he's doing right now, but what if he kind of knows the deal with what's going on there? What if he knows who Omega is and he knows the situation? Or what if the Kaminoans simply, we know Boba and Fennec do have a connection eventually. What if, what's the female Kaminoan's name?
Nalase.
What if Nalase knows Boba? I mean, they were,
Yeah.
What the hell happened to Tanwi, by the way?
Oh, that was Tanwi, so that's my bad.
Yeah, Tanwi
is from...
Tanwi's the one that knocks on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanwi's, yeah.
So what if... that's it then. Tanwi's the one that called the bounty.
She's probably like still around. I mean, so Nalase is the lead scientist, and so she's the one that literally did all like the grunt work for making the DNA and whatnot for everybody. And then
jerk in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, she's talk about a jerk at the 5s arc. Like she's bumped up a little bit, and like she's a better character now, but because like she's not like wanting to kill Tup. But like we know she cares about Omega, and at the end of the day, I think it's just someone on Kamino, Nalase, just wants Omega to come back, and we don't know what they want to do with her yet. Still, I think that's the scariest part, is that she definitely cares about Omega, but there's definitely some like testing going on, because like remember in like episode 1, like Omega says to Echo, "Oh yeah, I don't like it when the machines are hooked up to me too." So it's like, Omega, what happened to you? What are they doing to you?
Why would she let her go? Only
that's the thing.
Bounty hunter back down.
Right.
Say F you, Empire. That's why I don't think.
Yeah, like, I mean that's
maybe it was the situation.
That's the thing. It's like Crosshair was literally like had her in his crosshairs.
Yeah.
When she let her and the crew escape. So I think that was like her only option, where she's like, do I let her get captured by the Empire
Or get killed. Yeah.
or get killed? So I guess,
Yeah.
you know, her letting Omega escape kind of goes against our, you know, secret Crosshair orders that he's following for the
We'll see.
Kaminoans. We'll see.
I can have a crack theory,
I mean, it is
okay?
quite
Yeah, no,
possible.
crack theories are fun.
It's very possible Palpatine knows every project that's going on there.
Yeah.
And you know, we've had our people have their theories of who Omega could really be, and I mean that could be an important asset for him.
Yeah. Speaking of projects, this is a fun way to tie it into, like, you know, references to other things. So we've got a lot of references to Rogue One in the past couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So obviously we have Jin when she says, listing off all the projects, Project Omega, Project War Mantle. These are 2 projects literally mentioned within the past couple episodes. And then my personal favorite one in episode 4, the little clone trooper wooden doll.
Yes. I love the clone trooper, stormtrooper wooden dolls. I love that, like, I guess it like, makes sense.
It's adorable. Yeah. It's like it just immerses you fully. And like, we'll drop the references first, then we'll go back and actually look at the scene, right? So like I love the little wooden dolls, and then I love how she's just being a total kid and just like looking at everything, knocking everything over, and it's fantastic. And then she gets distracted by a dog.
And then the
dog though. The little the Vorpaxes,
he grabs the doll and runs away. She's like, "Wait, give me the doll
so
back."
Cute.
Like that's like perfect adventure, just like silly.
Yeah, it's great. And it was so whimsical and I loved it. And like I love how we always have a situation with Omega in which she gets to straight up be a kid and get into whimsical adventures and then like almost dies. Because, you know, that's what happens in Star Wars when a kid goes missing.
That's true.
But yeah, the dog, the little dog, the 2 of them are literally Tora Doza's little dog, which was Buggles. And I'm so excited to see these little chicken-like dogs. And like they're so cute. And
that was like, oh my god, I was so happy when I saw
them. It's just huge. It's huge to see something from Star Wars Resistance popping over into episode 4.
I don't think they're cute.
I know you don't think
they're very ugly.
They're ugly cute, dude.
Think about it. They
like
kind of, I was just gonna say they're like pugs. Pugs are cute, but they're also really ugly. So like it's it's both.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the Star Wars Resistance references for Buggles the dog and also Clink,
who is, I've learned, an LE series droid. And the one that appears in Resistance is LE-12.
Nice. So Clink was the droid that had like the like funny like vacuum arms, but like looked like an astromech.
I love that design. Like I'm so like, again, I said this before, but like it's just a case of like reusing assets. Like they're like, oh, we have this droid and we have you know these Buggles. Let's just put them in. But I love that. Like reusing assets is a cool way of world building in its own way, you know, in its own right. I mean, it is. Why wouldn't there be Vorpax on Pantora? Like, why wouldn't there be, you know, LE series droids elsewhere in the galaxy if they're on the Colossus, you know? Yeah.
That's why I mentioned it earlier. Like the whole, we're getting more interconnectedness across the board.
Mando,
yeah, the Lothcat. That we got the more Lothcats in episode 4 as well. There's the blue and green Lothcat, which they just revealed at Galaxy's Edge, and it's like
interesting.
So unofficial, official Bad Batch merch already. So like that's incredible.
That whole marketplace on Pantora really reminds me of the marketplace in Galaxy's Edge. I just want to point that out.
It looks like it.
It's almost exactly like that. Like watching the episode, I almost felt like I had been there before because it's like all the shops, like the little alcoves, they're all open. You know, there's like different shops, different places. You have the wooden stormtroopers and dolls kind of just like hanging out in the open. And like it like I said, obviously you guys haven't been to Galaxy's Edge, but once you go there,
I'd say watch
the episode before you guys go to the market, and then walk around and be like, "Wow, this is like exactly."
I think that's
the same.
just like, I mean, that's how, you know, that's supposed to be the feel, but that's like a lot of those Star Warsy, villagey city.
The whole.
But this one hit different. This one hit like full on.
It looked
like
very
felt exactly the same.
Yeah. I love in general, now that you mention it, the entire like aesthetic of Pantora, because we haven't, I mean, like, I don't know offhand if we've like seen it like this in depth before, but like I loved everything about like them flying in, and it was very similar, you know, to like Mando flying the Razor Crest into Tatooine, which obviously the entire show is like the Mandalorian, but we're not gonna talk about that. Like
And
that
that's
was just
Celestin, who's like a lame Pelimoto. He's not even just a
who,
lame guy.
which we
Who's the
found out
sleaze?
last night is voiced by Bobby
Voiced by
Moynihan,
Bobby Moynihan.
my
Our
favorite
best
boy.
friend
Like
of the
my
show,
gosh.
Bobby Moynihan.
Friend of the show, Bobby Moynihan, like Bobby the Gorg, named after Bobby Moynihan.
Oh my god.
But really, another tie to Star Wars Resistance because he did the voice of Orca in Resistance as well, which is
This
funny
was
now
just a
that he's done
Resistance
two
episode,
audio
huh?
things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like they pulled a lot of the crew. I think majority of the crew that worked on Resistance is now working on the Bad Batch, the actual production team. So like, anyway,
Resistance needs more love.
it does. There's
I'm-
been like it's super kiddish, but there's been a big resurgence for it recently, and I'm all for it.
Like people when like Ewoks and droids came out on Disney Plus, people were like scrambling to watch those. Those are way more.
Yeah, those are
babyish.
way more kiddish. Yeah.
Those are like super baby time compared to Resistance. Like Resistance is only like slightly
Winnie
baby
Hut
time.
Jr.
Yeah,
Here's
really?
Super Weenie Hut Jr.
So yeah, those are Super Weenie Hut Jr. Resistance is just Weenie Hut Jr.
There you go.
That's fair.
And then Bad Batch episode 3 and 4 are
Salty Spittoon.
Salty Spittoon.
Nailed it.
That's perfect. Let's see. Let's talk about Fennec Shand.
Dude, I love Fennec Shand.
I remember
Yeah.
sitting here in one of our first episodes, and we talked about Fennec Shan, and Jamie loves Fennec. I'm like, Fennec's cool bounty hunter, kind of Zam Wesselish to me, and even more so now.
Sam Westlish.
Oh yeah.
Sam Wesselish. And
That
then
is
Matt was
that's an
like,
adjective.
yeah, it could go either way. I think she's dead. I don't think she's coming back.
Nope, I did not think she was coming
Yeah.
back.
Now,
because like,
you
look,
know, now it's totally flips.
Yeah,
let's roll it back. I'm pretty sure this would have been in one of like the first few episodes of us for HoloNet Marauders.
Yep.
When we first see Fennec, she gets killed like almost immediately, right? I'm sitting here like she's not just gonna die. It's Ming-Na Wen. They're not just gonna kill her off like that. And then she came back and it was great. And then they announced she's gonna do voice acting for Fennec in Bad Batch, and I'm like, oh, we're coming full circle. And I'm like, love it. I thought it was great. I love to see her in it. It's funny that people were obviously like ranking on Freddie Prinze Jr. doing the voice for Caleb Doom, and it just sounded awful. For me, it was actually like a little weird for me to hear Ming-Na Wen's voice as Fennec, but not like live action. It was interesting because like for me, the voice will always just be Mulan.
Yeah. I
And,
got the
like-
yeah,
same
you're
vibe,
not
yeah.
wrong about that.
Obviously, and like Fennec is just so smooth, and Mulan is just so just like, oh my god, like sometimes like she's like badass, but also like not as like smooth as Fennec, and like
Yeah.
it was just really really cool to see and
We've
interesting
also-
to get over, but it was really fun.
We've never heard Fennec talk that much.
Yeah,
I
Feels
know.
like
yeah, that
she's,
too.
Lines
she's so
in Mando.
quiet.
Yeah. I want to know, is that her own ship or is that with like a crew of people? Because like that is a very large ship for
Very
just
large
one
ship.
person.
That
Yeah.
caught me way off guard when it was
Yeah.
like, man, she lost a lot. Like, is that ship just like sitting around on Tatooine? If that's her ship, and
It
she
has
got
we
like
see it,
matches
yeah.
her color scheme.
Yeah.
It's like black with a little orange on it, I think. So
maybe
God, the color
maybe
scheme.
it's the black and orange gang. Maybe
Black
she's
and
part
orange
of the
gang.
black and orange gang, like
We're
in the,
the black
corner
and
down
orange
here.
gang.
Halloween gang.
Yeah, look at us.
One thing that I wish that they added in, and like I know that like most people in Star Wars for some reason have the same outfit, but at the same time they could have
Yeah.
changed it slightly. It's
Why is it the
literally
same?
it's copy and pasted. If anything, there's a little bit less of a texture to it because it's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's one big difference between her in this and her in Mando. In this, she has a torso.
True.
So
Yeah, that is true.
there's a different costume.
Yeah.
There's no machines down there.
That is true. The other big thing, actually, though, is she doesn't have her sniper rifle yet. At least she wasn't
Yeah.
using it yet. I mean, she may just not have had it in the marketplace because maybe instructions were don't kill the kid,
Well,
so like you don't need
yeah,
the
and she
rifle kind of
was-
thing.
Probably more approachable without it.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's like a big deal when Omega sees the blaster, although she's
Hmm.
been hanging out with a bunch of dudes who kill people. So
I
it's
know,
like,
and Hunter doesn't have a blaster on him. I just want to.
know,
yeah, he just
He just whipped out his knife. He's like,
He goes for
No,
the knife
like-
all the time.
But like Hunter's like, oh yeah, let me just pull out this knife. You got a gun? And then it's like
Hunter
bringing a
always
knife
goes
to
for
a
the knife.
gunfight, dude.
Yes.
Like, what is he doing? But it
yeah.
doesn't work. Like, it didn't work out.
I love the entire sequence with Fennec though, in which the entire like chase sequence, and it was very cool seeing not in sorry I might want to say this. It was very cool seeing like a Coruscant type situation, but
Coruscant.
a little bit less. That's the term. People from
It
Coruscant
is.
are Coruscant.
Coruscant Sith.
Oh no.
That's on my shirt downstairs.
Yeah. It was cool seeing like the entire like overall setting of this like Coruscant vibe of this like synth cyberpunky kind of like thing, but also like mixed in with like the Pantora like aesthetic, which is kind of like a like more of like an Indian type aesthetic with like, you know, like the globe buildings and whatnot and like Middle East type of thing, which is really cool to like see like them blending multiple things. And like Pantora was definitely a place where there is like law and order, even though it might be like separated from somewhere else, because they had a very organized police force in which Fennec took out with like one shot immediately. So they're good guards, but like not that good.
Not that good.
Not that good.
Another example of, you know, Matt kind of mentioned it earlier, a vicious, like, not vicious killing, but like a huge snipe kind of to the face, chest area, and
like
took out the other guy and they blew up. So it was like,
they
ooh,
like
that's
blew up,
violent.
and I was like, oh my god, we see like like people with faces like blowing up and like dying. Like you don't see that. Even in Rebels, they would cover the Imperial. I forget what would you call them? Grunts, I guess. The Imperial
the
grunts
hats
with
would go
the
over their
hats.
eyes. Yeah.
So that you didn't have to like look at their face when they died, if they died.
It's the second
Rebels
time
doesn't
we've
like to
seen,
kill a lot of people.
second week in a row, we've seen someone kind of get sniped through glass too. For some reason, that just adds to it. Also, like you see the bullet hole quickly, and then they just die.
Yeah, then it's like, oh my god, that just happened.
Blaster hole, I should say. I
think another you know, things that have happened for the past 3 episodes at least are Wrecker's head. I highlighted it in the last time we chatted. The first time in episode 2, he bonks into the background, and at the time I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. The humor on this show is top notch. That's when we had Michael on, and he was like, the humor is so good in this show. I really want to know the take on it now, because it's not just humor anymore. It's not humor at all anymore, because episode 3 he hits it in the crash and it's the same ow, but like
I still laughed.
Yeah, at first, but then
he hit it in the tunnel, and I laughed.
Yeah, and then he hits it in the tunnel because Fennec straight up like decks him. Like, how did she do that? First of all, like, how did she knock him out?
Great bounty hunter.
I know.
Like,
she used his weight and leverage against him, but
all torque.
Literally.
Yeah.
All torque. Well, rolling it back though, we didn't even mention in episode 3, Wrecker's tale the entire time of what he was doing. So they told him to stay on the ship, don't do anything because his head hurt, and they didn't know what that meant at the time. And so he decides to just make Omega a bed, make her a room, and why do they have so many cozy little blankets and like fairy lights like on the ship in the first place? Like he obviously like didn't find those on the moon, so like they just had this like there. I love it though, and like
Tech has a flair for interior decoration that you don't know yet, because it's his ship after all, right?
Yeah, I guess.
It kind of reminds me of like in Rebels when they each have like their own rooms and they each have their decorations, and even Sabine has like her painted seat in the cockpit.
Yeah.
The Bad Batch kind of had that on Camino in their dorm room there, their dorm suite.
Yeah, everyone's was all laid out. Echo's bed nowhere to be seen.
So I kind of like to see like the different personalities of each like living quarter. We haven't really seen that on the ship other than Omega's room, but it's cool to see.
I'm assuming they're up top, right? So like in the second episode when they're hiding up there, and then they all jump down afterwards, I'm assuming any of their bunks are up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. Something that I like love about the ship, which we gotta like mention as well. We mentioned it before, but Gonki.
Oh yeah.
Not talking about Gonki. So
hasn't been mentioned by name yet. But
Gonki, the power droid. I think the news of it being named Gonki officially came out right before episode 3. And I love how literally episode 3 begins with Omega just laying against Gonki as if Gonki was like a giant dog and just like chilling. And she's just like on her tablet, and Hunter's literally just like, that doesn't look comfortable for either of you. And it's like, being such a mom. Like, he's not being a dad, he's being such a mom.
Yeah.
Like, And then they crash land, and like Gonki's like rolling down like the middle because like they can't like anchor down the droid, right? And Omega's so like worried that like Gonki's gonna like, I don't know, explode or something. And then like the first thing Hunter does when they get up is he writes Gonki back up, and I'm like, everybody loves Gonki. Everyone loves Gonki. And then Gonki shines again in episode 4. He just carries the toolbox while Tech and Wrecker fix the ship.
Walking around.
I love it. I love it.
Anybody who wants a good Gonk story, just go to our YouTube page.
Yeah.
Yes. Underrated YouTube video.
You'll see.
Great.
You'll find Power Trip, which is great.
Mhm.
Cannot
Very good.
possibly plug that enough. So,
That is
Made by Ryan Miorelli, the master.
very
the
good.
master of Gonk droids.
Thank the maker.
So one thing I was thinking of, you were talking about earlier. Do you guys want to create like a pool, see who hits his head more by the end of the series, Wrecker or Kazuda Ziono?
I know. I was thinking of that. Kaz hit his head every episode. So
they're giving each other
Wrecker's
a
gonna
run for
beat
their
it.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Wrecker will
$20.
probably beat it and have more consequences because it seems like if anything, Cass gets like mild like amnesia like as it happens, but then he's back.
He's
Wrecker just might snap,
Yeah.
and
We
that's
don't want that.
not
See,
gonna
I
go
don't
well.
think
We don't
it's-
want him to beat the record.
Everyone's building it up, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Like I think his chip will go off. It seems like they're alluding to that.
Mhm.
It'd be kind of a disappointment if it didn't, because he just had a headache. What is that?
Chekhov's chip.
Yeah.
All right.
But it would be cool. What am I saying? I don't think it's gonna be a big deal because it'll be like a 1-episode thing. I think. Oh, he's turned a bit, and then like Rex is gonna be like, oh, I know how to deal with this, and he'll like
Yeah.
deal with it. And then
I
that'll be
hope
it.
so.
I don't think Wrecker's gonna turn. I know someone mentioned on one of our live streams that he'll turn. They'll all slowly kind of turn or something and join Crosshair, and I'm like, I don't see that happening. So
That'd be nuts.
yeah.
No. Okay, they are called the Bad Batch, but they're all very good. They
They're
are
the
they are
Yeah.
good men. They are good men. Maybe not Crosshair, but maybe Crosshair has the potential.
Crosshair's
to
a
be
good man.
We
He
can't
be a
blame
good
him
man.
for what his
Yeah,
chip
the
is
chip.
doing.
It's
the
his
chip is
programming.
making him do it. That's
true.
exactly it. That's the problem.
Do you
'Cause
think?
even-
Fun speculation. Do you think Crosshair? Eventually, he's going to be redeemed. He's going to come back. Do you think he gets redeemed and lives?
I really hope so. I
Yeah.
would
I think
really
so.
love it if, like, by the end of this season, he comes back and gets to like atone for what he's done, as opposed to just like, see you later. I'm good now.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Or
Like
even just
everybody
like,
else, you know.
how many times have we seen a redemption story in Star Wars and
I think that's why people love
they
Cal
die?
so much.
yeah, Callus-
Callus
yeah.
doesn't die. He gets to
Yeah.
Right.
actually like join the cause. Like again,
Right.
that's why like Zuko is
Yep.
another good redemption story, because he gets to live and we get to see, you know, them working to actually undo all the wrong that they did. I mean, Yeah. and don't get me
You
wrong,
wish.
you know, Vader and Ben Solo, or Anakin and Ben Solo, their redemptions arcs are awesome too.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
you know, redemption through death, I think, is a little bit of an overdone trope in Star Wars at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we
So-
always wish the characters can live, especially if we love them. But you know, a death can be very meaningful too, and
Oh yeah.
for a sacrifice. So
Well,
it adds to the character.
Ben had to die. I hate to say that. That's a very, 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 very controversial opinion.
How many
And
people
it's
just
not-
turned off the podcast?
I know, right? It's not for the reason that a lot of people say, where he did really evil things. So, you know, he had to die for the audience to accept that. No. Star Wars is all about letting go, right? That's like the one thing that Anakin could not do. That's the one thing that turned Anakin to the dark side, was that he could not train himself to let go of everything he fears to lose. The fear of loss is very strong and powerful. And, you know, Anakin at the end of Return of the Jedi learns that, yes, you have to let go. And he kind of lets go of himself. He lets go of, you know, the peace, order, and everything that he'd worked hard, or he thought he'd worked hard to achieve. He realizes that's for nothing if his son's going to die. So he has to let all that go to save his son. And he ends up letting himself go too. And that's what happens with Ben Solo, but in an even more intense degree, because
He lost everything.
Yeah.
well, he lost. Rey died.
Yeah.
And again, in Star Wars, death is kind of like a final thing, right? Like
Unless
once
you're Darth
somebody
Maul.
dies, they become part of the Force, and you have to learn to accept that, and you have to learn to let go. And Anakin couldn't do that. And Ben, if he's going to, resurrect somebody, save somebody from death, then he has to let go of something. He has to lose something in return. And of course, the only thing he really has to lose now is his life. So he has to let go of himself to save Rey, and it comes full circle in the selfless love that Anakin failed with Padme, and it's a whole big thing. It's cyclical. My brain is fried. I'm
good stuff. That's a tease for our future Ben Solo special. 1 hour Ben Solo special.
Go 1 hour, please.
1 hour.
1 hour of a
that'll be part
3-part
one of 5
series.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking back to the Bad Batch.
Speaking of fried brains, let's talk about Echo having to pretend to be a droid.
Oh, I've forgotten. It's my favorite thing so far.
Yeah.
That outfit is amazing, and I'm so sad that Hasbro has ditched the 3 3/4 inch figures, because I was immediately looking at him and going, I want to figure that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get one.
I love that
You
look.
might.
That was one of the trailer shots. I remember when it first came out. Echo, we see his face, and he has the very tight like balaclava underneath.
What the hell?
Giant,
you guys got giant mosquitoes or something?
I think there's a Cazador outside or something. I don't know what the heck that was. Anyway. Echo has like the really tight balaclava on, and then he just like smacks the helmet over his face. And like I remember seeing that shot, and I was like, oh gosh, this boy looks so sad. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. I remember like thinking that every time I saw like the thing, and like Echo is a very sad boy, but knowing that I think originally I was like, oh, this is like some like weird like dark armor that the Empire's gonna make them wear. Knowing that he literally just had to pretend to be a droid makes it much
with a welding mask.
I don't know
better.
I don't know what he was expecting. This man has like a mechanical droid arm. Like, it doesn't even look like a robotic arm that like normal people have as prosthetics. It looks like just a droid,
it's a droid arm.
And this dude dresses like a droid, and he's like, oh, I'll blend in. And then somebody's like, that's a droid. And he's like, what? I'm not a droid. I'm just a super cool like cyborg man that's supposed to be blending in. Like, what was your plan?
Yeah.
Echo?
Like,
why did you dress like that?
Got the welding mask, the pilot gear, and like, so good.
I kind of like the droid arm thing. I know we talked about it before this season, where like they have like, Anakin has the, he gets a real like nice fake hand, and then Luke does eventually too. But I kind of like the idea of like the clones to the greater population, maybe to the higher ups, that clones are expendable and they don't want to waste that technology on them. So Echo gets like a crappy little droid hand, and I don't know.
I'm wondering,
higher up, the Jedi or the people, the fancy people are the ones that get the new technology.
He does get 2 legs though. Like,
oh yeah, he does.
I mean, like,
but
the legs are normal.
Didn't he get those? Didn't he get those from the Confederacy?
I think so.
Yeah, he had all of those things from when he was with the Separatists as a hostage. But like, I'm pretty sure
droid hands new though,
like,
right?
No, that he had that like before, because like that was like part of the entire like thing when they go back in the Bad Batch arc to figure out whatever.
Why did they bother giving him robotic legs? Now that I'm thinking of it,
they would have been better off not giving him anything.
They would have. I mean, as dark as it sounds, it would have been much better to just have him be like a man with no arms and legs in a pod. He can't escape or do anything. He's just like a human computer at that point that can't really move.
Maybe they wanted to make him into a soldier.
Brains.
Who knows?
It's the Winter Soldier all over again. But
it literally is.
This time with Echo. Because like I'm pretty sure the once Echo joins the Bad Batch, they like revamp him like slightly because it has the new paint job and they're black now instead of like the silver. But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
One thing that I've has been like I've like noticing as like the show happens, like with Echo in general, is whenever he turns, like you can see like his like chest piece like moves like with him, like it's fabric. And at first I thought it was like armor doing that, and then I thought about it more. And someone pointed it out to me, and they're like, no, he just has like padding, like, or his like belly is. He doesn't have like actual like armor like the other guys do. So when he does turn and like you see like the fabric move, it's because it's fabric. So like while he's the droid version of whatever, it like also like does that. And like this like shopkeeper is like, you're a droid, I'll take him. It's like
anything.
It's literally the Flying Dutchman trying to buy SpongeBob off of Mr. Krabs. I'll give you all the money in my pocket. For
what you're talking about with the fabric, though, I mean, I didn't obviously even notice that, but that just kind of points out how great this animation looks. That you can notice the fabric on an animated character moving. But it's just beautiful. Before the season, they were like, "Oh, if you're able to get like a new nice TV to watch this show, like that's what it should be watched on. And now I get what they mean, especially all the lighting and.
I think Star Wars has an inherent advantage over Marvel in that Star Wars has, I said we, I don't know why I said we. I'm not like on Team Star Wars versus Team Marvel. No, but it's like Star Wars has already like a base in animation. Like if we wanted, again, I said we, if they wanted to pump out like 20 animated shows at once, like not to downplay animation, obviously animation is a ton of work with a ton of resources and a ton of people involved. Versus filming a live action show and then having like an animated show, it's definitely different in terms of like turnaround. And I think that's an advantage Star Wars has. I know there were rumors that they're like ramping up the animation. Lucasfilm Animation is going to start like doing a bunch of different projects, which I'm looking forward to. But really, I mean, that they've hit the point where they're like, the animation is perfect. And it's just time to start like translating that into different shows and stories and like eras. It's time to just, you guys have hit your stride. It's time to expand now and grow your animation department.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Well,
all of that.
So
like,
you don't, people don't have to rely on just the live action content. We can have like a constant stream of content from Star Wars with animation and live action, with animation kind of filling the gaps and, being almost like a yearly thing, where right now we're waiting for Mando season 3, probably 2022. And I guess like Book of Boba Fett is a year later, but even then, you can't keep this high turnaround with live action shows going for like a long time. Like we're really lucky right now. I bet I wouldn't be surprised if things start to slow down just a little bit because it's just so much.
Slow down. They're just getting started.
Well,
but I
Rangers of the New Republic has me all sad and defeated at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that they're maybe just taking a pause and a reset for that because like they already will be having 2 shows going on in that era that are brand new. So Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka. Yeah. So maybe they're just like reassessing how they want to approach Rangers, obviously with everything that's happened behind the scenes with that. So I think that they're just going to reassess it. I think that it still has potential to be a show in the future. They're just, taking a step back and being like, you know what, maybe we don't need 3 shows live action going on at once because we do
need 3 shows.
They are
we do
huge
need Rangers
projects.
of the New Republic.
I would love to have Rangers of the New Republic because I just want more Cobb Vanth, okay?
Oh yeah.
Well, he'll be in Book or Mando. So
but I just want more New Republic. Yeah. Mos Pelgo, aka Freetown, something they never talk about in the show for some reason. They never addressed that.
Episode.
Yeah, I know, but Freetown had such thematic significance, right? Like I wrote a whole article on this on the website about like Luke may have freed the slaves. This was something I got into a discussion with on Reddit with somebody. Not an argument. It was actually a really nice discussion. Yeah. Kanji Club is made up of former Hutt slaves. They joined forces and became their own crime syndicate after the Hutts started to lose power because Luke killed Jabba the Hutt.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. But it's like, again, one of Anakin's main goals was, I want to free the slaves.
Guys,
and Luke kind of does it.
What if we see Sidon Ithato in Book of Boba Fett?
Please.
Guys. Possible. I mean, he could be in anything.
Yeah. Ooh. Jameer Morrison as Kix again. I don't know.
Boy.
When did they find Kix? That's way later.
That's way later. That's like right before the sequels when they actually like find Kix.
Give me a Sidon Ithano origin story in Book of Boba Fett where he meets Piggle.
It would be like a really good animated series because like they could.
It would.
It could literally be Rebels, but in the sequel trilogy because like
he looks so good in Resistance.
It's a group on the side.
Yeah, he does.
That's all that we really want over here. I asked a question on Twitter the other day. Do you think that Grogu will have new Jedi robes in season 3 or new clothes, or will he be wearing the same thing?
No, he's got to get that Jedi robe.
New clothes, yeah.
He's got to get the Jedi drip.
There'll be quite a time jump, I believe. Not quite a time jump, but maybe a couple of years, a year.
Like I don't think it'll be like crazy like Anakin style. It'll just be like a new like tan coat, but like it'll be new clothes though. You gotta show that like time difference.
Yeah, and Grogu has to be. Grogu has such potential. Like, I don't know. Again, we're going way off topic here from Bad Batch.
That's okay.
But Grogu has so much potential. Like thinking about people one of people's main complaints about the sequels is that they don't think that Luke did enough. But the thought of Luke training the next generation's Yoda is monumental. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's literally like 1,000-year-long legacy. You know, when Yoda tells Luke that we are what they grow beyond. That's, you know, not just Rey, but there could also be Grogu. And Grogu could be the next Yoda.
Everyone that
and
he
Luke will have trained the next Yoda.
Yeah.
Like,
So
that's
then
big.
they all are fighting the Grisk, as you think, during the sequel trilogy.
Hey, I didn't say I think that. I said that it's likely to happen, but
I mean, it's the only thing that kind of makes sense of like
yeah,
where everyone could be during that time.
I don't know. I don't even think Grogu is going to be a Jedi for a while. I think Luke is going to train him. He's going to get a mastery of his powers, but I think he's going to end up with Din again. By the end of the series, I wouldn't be surprised if like Din is the Mandalore with Grogu just like by his side for the time being.
That'd be something.
You know, if we fast forward, if we do like the Star Wars Legacy thing from Legends, they jumped like 100 years into the future with Cade Skywalker, who's just, oh my God, he's so 90s. Like if anybody Googles Cade Skywalker, he's so, oh my God, he's got like the ear piercing. He's got like the, he's got like the Justin Timberlake hair. It's great. It's like the floofy blonde curls. Anyway, I'm going off topic again. But if they do what they did with Legacy, where they jump like 100 years into the future, they skip over multiple generations, and they just like jump right into like this new fresh story, I would love to see Grogu then having taken up becoming a Jedi. I hate to say it, but it's after Din's, you know,
death
gone.
Long after,
then Grogu can kind of become a Jedi. Again, it ties back to training yourself to let go of everything you love. Once Din is gone, then you can kind of become a Jedi.
Yeah.
But right now,
quite
his
a ways
attachment
away.
is
that is quite a ways away.
Hindering that, perhaps, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. What else we got about the Bad Batch?
Oh yeah, Bad Batch.
What do you...
I really like the ladder from the sewer to the tallest tower in the city.
Yeah. What's going on with that?
The tallest ladder ever. Good job, guys.
No, we didn't talk about the guy listening to the tunes in the trash truck.
Yes.
Or whatever it was.
Okay.
What is that? Okay, is that recycled or is that brand new Star Wars diegetic music we have now?
So I think it's brand
new.
It must be brand new.
That's
like,
monumental.
You guys know this. Like Star Wars popular music is like my like favorite like random thing to figure out, because like we have it in Jedi Fallen Order, Cal listening to The Who, and then we have like Figure and Dan of the Model Nodes play a genre called Jizz, which is absolutely disgusting, but all right.
I love Jizz, man.
We got like the Cantina Band nonsense, but then like we also know that there's like the step up of like opera in like obviously in like Revenge of the Sith, right?
Oh, what was that called? Frog Lake.
Frog Lake?
That's the play they're watching. I'm pretty sure it's called Frog Lake. No.
That's
I gotta Google this now. I think it's Frog Lake.
But yeah, so we have like all of that, and like we haven't really like dove into like what is like Star Wars popular music, because that's not really something that you would like know at like face level for like any sort of thing. We know that radio stations exist within the Star Wars universe. Like we have like a radio station at Black Spire Outpost, which is my favorite like fun fact about it, VSO 401.72. And the fact Squid Lake.
It's Squid Lake.
Squid Lake.
That's amazing. The play is actually called Squid Lake. It's
that's
just
fantastic.
Perfect. That's so perfect.
Yeah, so like we know that like it's something that's just like, oh, music in Star Wars, like, yeah, whatever. You just think of like the score, but like what do they listen to like as the characters within the universe? And
You're
now we
leaving
have
out one of my
confirmation.
favorite examples.
Oh, go ahead.
The one that Zeb listens to at the end of like, or like the right before the end of like I think season 2 or 3, when he brings out the folding chairs and he has the radio and it's like this like yacht rock almost, like Star Wars yacht rock. He turns it on and him and Ezra like lounging. That's my favorite instance of music in Star Wars.
To the,
I'm like, what are you doing?
I remember that. It's similar to the whole Droll planet, the moon of Viego.
They're listening to like the same kind of thing as well.
The kids lounging in like a hammock, and
Jabba Flow. Can't forget Jabba Flow.
Jabba Flow.
Which is like same like vein as like Can't See Any Music, honestly. But yeah, so like we have like these like different genres of like Star Wars music, and like I personally feel that like the most popular genre of in-universe Star Wars music would be some sort of heavily made by like a computer, electronically made, like a synth wavy type of thing, or like any sort of EDM type thing, electronic stuff
that Mr. Krabs really likes.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Beep boop bop, beep boop
bop, boop boop bop. So we have this legit like truck driver just driving along on Pantora with his
Yeah.
headphones on, just
well,
it's just
He's
like
just jamming to human music
love
from
it.
Rick and Morty.
I
No, you guys don't get. Do you guys get that? I don't. You guys don't watch
No.
Rick and
I
Morty.
do not.
I do not,
All you
but-
Rick and Morty fans out there, that was a little dropping that little reference for you guys. There it is. Anyway,
Okay.
continue with the Aqualish garbage truck driver.
yeah.
jamming.
So the yeah, I love how this guy is just minding his own business, has no idea what's going on. Omega lifts like the bed of like the truck, and like the guy still doesn't hear it. Like what a dumbo. But like I love that like this is becoming a thing. There he is.
There he is.
There's my boy.
Oh, he's jamming.
Matt, make it your mission to find out what that guy's name is, because he definitely has one.
I'll
I don't know if
figure
you'll be able to find out right away, but
That's gonna be my celebration cosplay.
Dude,
Like a
yes.
turtleneck, a green helmet, headphones. I'll figure it out.
like yeah, and then
Oh.
it's also a second instance of headphones because like Cal has them in Fallen Order, so like
Yeah. Glasses
Oh
and
my
God,
headphones are the
there's-
new
love
Star
it.
There's a
Wars thing.
YouTube video that is just Aqualish truck driver beats, and it's that song.
I can't
and-
wait. Send that one to me.
Holy crap! I gotta send that.
Send it.
Damn.
Send it. All right. Well, wow.
Question of the week.
Yeah, go for it.
Just him jamming, dude. I gotta send. Hold on. All right, I sent
Are
it
you
to
ready?
What
Save
you
it.
got?
Question of the week. What is your favorite city setting in Star Wars?
City setting and Star.
Because after
Wars.
Pantora, I'm
Wow.
pretty sure that was mine. I don't know. I just loved it.
Hmm.
It was so unique.
I love a good city planet. I believe the word is Eucaminopolis.
Ooh,
Sure.
okay.
Yeah, I love a good city planet. I couldn't tell you the amount of times I've watched Star Wars Explains like video about like all of the city planets in Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just so interesting to me. I don't know. All of like urban planning in general is just like so interesting to me. And again, going back to the whole like synthwave like vibes and like Madripoor vibes and whatnot. Like I just,
The whole
I gotta
planet's
be
one big city.
I gotta be basic, and I have to say Coruscant
Thanks, Rick.
because we've kind of seen the most of it, and we've seen how it is different on so many different levels. Literally, like we have the dark side of Coruscant, we have like the lower levels, and then we have like where the Jedi Temple area is, and it's just so cool to see like so much going on at once. And I don't know, Coruscant has always just like been my favorite. Plus, we have Cocoa Town and we have Dex's Diner, so
Yes.
you gotta
Cocoa
go where there's a
Town.
diner.
Yeah, you're right. Jeez, has to be a city planet. Just can't be a city in Star Wars. That's
Well, it
tough.
could be a city, I guess. It doesn't.
Yeah.
City setting. So.
City setting. Well, then I might go for the more backwater city settings. Like I think Jeddah is probably my
That's a
favorite
good one.
Mm.
city setting in Star Wars. That I loved the concept of like a holy city in Star Wars that people like make pilgrimages to. I love the reference in the High Republic. I think it's Into the Dark where they talk about the Jedi make pilgrimages to Jeddah as like a rite of passage or like a religious experience, which I think is so cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And I just love the whole. I don't know. I just love the whole holy city idea, and people walking around. You got the Brothers of the Beatitude of the Force, and the Sisterhood, and the Guardians of the Wills. There's like so many Force religions and stuff. I just want to know the
Surprised.
history behind it. You got those like towering Jedi statues that are on their side.
There you go. That could be another
In the
show. What's
desert.
going on Jeddah?
I love Jeddah was destroyed. I almost feel bad that it was destroyed. Ooh, you know what's a great city in Star Wars?
Canto Bight?
Kijimi.
Oh, Kijimi is great.
Kijimi, yeah.
Kijimi is such a good city
Ooh.
in Star Wars.
I love
And
all like
Canto Bight,
the.
Antonica
I love
for
all the
sure,
real
but-
life inspirations for these places too. So like
Yeah.
Jeddah, Pantora, very Middle Eastern, a little bit like Russian vibes and Pantora with the
A little bit of
architecture.
everything. Yeah.
It just looks so cool. And then you
I
know,
think Pantora is
Coruscant.
definitely Russian vibes because not only that, but you also have the like moons of Pantora, which are like
Yeah.
Siberia, right?
Yeah.
Like and you have that whole conflict with like the Pantorans trying to take like the moons from the I forget the name of the
Muftak.
Muftak. Yeah,
Well, Muftak is the. Are they Muftaks or is that like
Muftak
his
was
name?
the guy.
Muftak's
Muftak
his
was
name.
the species name
This-
in
the spe-
the Cantina in A New Hope.
that's the species. Yeah, Muftak.
yeah. So is that the
Oh, it is
character's name
Muftak?
or the species?
that's the
Okay, okay.
species names.
Muftak.
And
Okay.
is it the species name? I only googled it for like
I think
a
it was
split
the
second,
guy's
saw the
name.
picture,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
he's
went,
the big fuzzy white guy.
oh yeah, it's a
fuzzy
tall.
hair. and he
called the
has like
Talls.
Yeah,
funny like
the
nose
straws
thing,
as a
the
mouth.
straw nose.
Yeah. They're called the Talls, and they live
Talls,
on
okay.
Ordo Plutonia,
Mm.
which the Pantorans were trying to take for themselves, and it's that has real world inspiration from like how the Russians treated the native people of various cultures in Siberia and other places that are really cold, Russia.
Yeah.
But I could totally see like Pantora being like a Russia
Definitely.
analog. Anyway, I got way off topic. What were we talking about?
Kajimi was your other thought for
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Kajimi,
Kajimi.
which is like a very Japanese in style. It's
Yeah.
a very Japanese inspired style. Kanto Bite is basically like Monaco,
Yeah, they like
space Monaco.
films like
They
there.
literally like filmed there. So
I can't
I
believe
love
that they
that
did that still, like filmed at the same place as like Game of Thrones. Like what are
Oh,
they
yeah, I
doing?
know.
What are they why did they do that?
why not? Got to
Because
get
that's
that
where
casino subplot in there.
AJ, what about you?
Well, I kind of said Pantora.
Pantora?
I
Okay.
mean, that's what that's kind of what made me ask that question because I love
Okay,
that so much.
yeah.
I was like, what other cities do we really like?
Yeah, I'd
So,
probably,
I
if
like
I was
Kajimi
talking
a
about
lot
like a
too.
sprawling city planet, I feel like Kajimi is kind of like that, at least a little bit, because that city is huge, the one that they
Yeah.
go to. So I'd probably say Kajimi because
I
that's
think
really
something
cool
something
style.
interesting within Star Wars itself, with galaxy geography and whatnot, which we saw another galaxy map in the most recent episode of them like pointing out like planets they want to go to, and I'm very excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
Usually they go to just the one city, and we assume that that one city is what the entire planet looks like, which is like really funny to think about. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, just
Yeah,
like
that's how Star Wars kind of operates.
just like think about that perspective wise, like where we live is totally different than the other side of the world, obviously. So
Yeah,
whatever.
the planets being like one biome and one culture is like a thing that just happens in Star
Mind
Wars.
blowing. Yeah.
Everybody unifies once you discover space travel.
There you go. Cool. Last thoughts on Bad Batch?
Ooh,
Anything?
Narshada. Forgot about Narshada.
Narshada, great.
How
I
could
mean,
we forget?
I was going to talk about Mandalore too.
Yeah.
The city,
true.
the giant dome city of Mandalore.
Mm.
I'd
Yes.
love to see that in live action. There's no way we're not. So
We will, but it'll
whenever that happens.
not great.
We joke about terrorists a lot in the upper city, the
yeah.
under city, the rat ghouls,
The sewers,
Ooh.
yeah.
and the sewers.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Is that
All
in
right.
canon? That exists in canon.
Terrace?
It has to,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yes, it does, because there's a senator in Rogue One who's from Terrace. And there's a
yeah.
senator that Padme talks with who's from Terrace. That's
Perfect.
the only time that they like really mention it. We don't go to Terrace in canon at the moment. You just go in KOTOR.
Well, that
Yeah.
KOTOR remake can take care of that whenever that
Definitely.
happens. Hurry up, guys.
Anyway, very cool. Well, I think that's it for today then, guys. So this was Bad Batch Chat for episodes 3 and 4.
Bad Batch Chat. I like
Bad
it.
Batch Chat. All right.
Bad Batch Chat.
Yeah, so thank you so much for listening to the HoloNet Marauders podcast. You can find us on most social medias as HoloNet Marauders. On Twitter, it is just HoloNet Marauder. There's no S on that. For definitely check out our blog at holonetmarauders.com. And then what's that other bit that I needed to say? Oh, yes. For the month of May, definitely check out on our website, holonetmarauders.com. We are doing a May the 4th fundraiser for the Peter Mayhew Foundation. For more information of how to donate, check out the link on our website. Again, it's at holonetmarauders.com. So thank you so much for watching the show and then listening as well, our audio amigos.
Audio